Nicole Murphy, you're disgusting. You sat on that couch and you laughed. It ain't no moment. It's a mess. You wrong for that. You the type of women that let these men be evil. They gotta have some help, and women like you are that type of help.
To that, Nicole Murphy had relations with your ex-husband. Were you two friends?
Mm-hmm. Birthday parties. I've been to her house. She was at my bachelorette party. But you know what? At that time, my mother told me then. She said, but you got to watch that one there. And I was like, who? I said, the one dancing? She said, yes, that's Eddie Murphy's wife. She said, you got to watch that one.
Current wife at the time or ex at the time?
I want to say I think she was still married. They were still married. And I was like, no, And so, when your mom tell you something about new school, you feel like you old school, And she was right.
Let me break this down for you, plain and simple, because this story is just too wild to ignore. Lisa Raye McCoy rarely calls out people publicly, but when she did it to Nicole Murphy, it was unforgettable. The drama began when Nicole, who was once a good friend of Lisa Raye, had an affair with Lisa Raye's then-husband, Michael Missick. To make matters worse, it reportedly happened in Lisa Raye's own home. Since finding out, Lisa Raye hasn't held back, calling Nicole out for her selfish and manipulative behavior, even labeling her a homewrecker. The most shocking part, Nicole doesn't seem to feel even a little bit guilty. She's brushed off the accusations, acting as if she did nothing wrong. This behavior isn't new for Nicole, though. Ever since her divorce from Eddie Murphy, she's been linked to other women's husbands, stirring up drama wherever she goes. Let's rewind a bit to Nicole's divorce from Eddie. She walked away with a $15 million settlement, which might sound like a lot, but compared to Eddie's wealth and their 5 kids, it wasn't much. Things got worse when Nicole was scammed out of $10 million by a so-called friend, Tony Stratos. That left her scrambling to maintain the lavish lifestyle she was used to, especially with her kids aging out of child support. Nicole, like some women who rely on their looks, began searching for a wealthy man to support her. While there's nothing wrong with wanting stability, the way she went about it crossed the line. She started pursuing men who were married to her friends, causing chaos and breaking trust. The messiest situation came when Nicole was caught kissing Antoine Fuqua, director and husband of actress Lila Rochin, while she was wearing a bikini. The photos went viral, and it became a public relations disaster for Nicole. She claimed it was just a friendly hello, but nobody believed her. Word spread that Eddie Murphy wasn't happy about the bad press, and Nicole eventually issued a public apology, though it seemed insincere.
I know. Trust me, Wendy. Trust me, I wish it didn't happen.
Okay.
Why did this happen? Well, I think it was a moment where I should have thought more through the situation, made better judgments, So it's something that I apologize for. What happened was there was a statement that was released. I did not put out that statement. I was actually on the airplane, and I was coming back from Europe.
They were in Italy at a film festival.
Yes.
And allegedly...
But I was out there for business.
Okay.
There was some designers out there as well, so I was dealing with that. Okay. There was familiar faces out there, and it happened.
Where did this happen?
I was in Italy.
No, I mean, where did that happen right there? Because you all look like you just woke up in the morning.
No, we did not.
Your body looks
phenomenal. First of all, I was at the pool. Okay. We're on a different time zone. I was having a hard time staying awake. I was drinking an espresso. That's it.
Okay, and you leaned in.
It was a moment that should not have happened. I regret it, and I apologize for it. And I'm a human being. It was a mistake.
There's no way someone just wakes up one day and accidentally kisses a married man. Let's be real, nobody is falling for that excuse. Lisa Raye McCoy wasn't here for the nonsense Nicole Murphy was trying to push. She shut it down, making it clear that Nicole's actions were no accident. Lisa Raye believed Nicole had her eyes on Antoine Fuqua as her next big catch, seeing him as a wealthy man who could fund her lifestyle.
I was hearing from my sources that she had called the paparazzi to take the pictures of her.
That's what I thought anyway.
And that this is not the first time she's done it. And that the reason why she's doing it is because she, in fact, actually does want to be with him.
Of course.
And she, in fact, if they're kissing like that, they f***ing.
What are the odds that these two black people would be in Italy and run into each other if they did not leave America to go to Italy together.
And what are the odds that paparazzi does not check in for either one of them is going to find them in some remote place in Italy to take pictures?
The foreign paparazzi, hey, isn't that this director who we don't ever see and Nicole Murphy who we don't ever see?
Right.
Oh yeah, let's take their picture right now while they're kissing.
Exactly. And let them kiss multiple times to make sure that the paparazzi gets it.
Throughout the day.
Throughout
2
the
days. In the robes.
Right.
In the swimwear.
In your robes.
They're just waiting for y'all.
So that's what I was hearing, and that's what I didn't report because I was trying to be like, that's my girl. And in Love Muffins, if you don't believe that, go back to a couple of podcasts ago, or maybe more than a couple, like 8 podcasts ago, when I was talking about this, you were going in on her.
I was.
And I was pumping the brakes.
You were.
I was like, no, I was doing that. I was just, I'm just reaching for everything, trying to not.
I'm like, that hussy.
Yeah. Not to really expose her for being the lying scallywag that she is.
What I call her, a Jezebel.
She's a Jezebel, but she's a scallywag.
Why was Lisa Raye so sure? Because Nicole had already pulled a similar stunt on her. Back when Lisa Raye was married to Michael Missick, Nicole got involved with him, despite being a close friend of Lisa Raye's. That betrayal left a lasting scar, and Lisa Raye has never let Nicole forget it. For Lisa Raye, this wasn't about one mistake, it was a pattern.
Thing is this, when you're a woman and you grown, let's handle it like a woman. Let's talk face to face and let's get it out. But here's the thing. I sat with her a couple of months ago, longer than a couple of months ago, about 6 months ago. And
this was after the alleged affair?
Before.
Okay.
And I said, let's talk about it because I waited a very long time for you and I to get like this right here, face to face, you know? And
no, she's talking about Nicole, not me.
Right.
Relax.
And we had a good conversation because she said to me, you know what? We're two older women that look good that's in the business. I hate this. And I do too, because I hate when we can't bridge the gap between women. You know, we should not be in that position.
Right.
I will say this.
Nicole Murphy had an affair with Michael Missick while he was married to Lisa Raye McCoy. What makes the situation even worse is that Nicole and Lisa Raye were close friends, and Nicole was there to witness their wedding. Despite the evidence, Nicole denied ever being involved with Michael, claiming it never happened. Lisa Raye, however, didn't stay silent. She stood her ground and insisted that Nicole did have an affair with her ex-husband. Her younger sister, Brad.
That's true, absolutely true.
So what happened exactly?
Just what you said. She messed around with my husband. Here's the thing. We've all done something that we regret. We've all made mistakes and we all have to learn from that. But when you start doing it and being messy enough to do it amongst family, how does a family kiss turn into a I'm sorry apology? Like, what do you mean? You didn't know that she was married? We all know that she was married. And that was 20 years. That's history. You don't do that amongst friends.
Right.
Because there's no loyalty.
Right.
There's no loyalty, and you got to look up, and your person that you invite into your house and you celebrating your birthdays and going to games with, you got to look up and they're in Italy with your husband.
Right.
Nicole have reportedly been close friends for years, and they travel in the same circle.
And my thing is this, Prush, you know you're not talking about it all the time. That's that friendship stuff?
Yeah.
No, ma'am.
Well, but listen, the whole internet's on fire about it. Even your sister, the brat, Lisa Raye McCoy, jumped in social media and said, girl, Nikki Murphy, you went after Lila Rashawn's husband too? Shaking my head so wrong again.
Ooh, wait, hold on.
So what's the fine print of the tea? Like, did she go after Lisa Raye's husband when she was married to the...
Absolutely. When my sister was the first lady of Turks and Caicos, absolutely.
What? Over the years, Lisa Raye has never changed her version of events, and she hasn't let Nicole off the hook for what she did. The betrayal was too deep for Lisa Raye to just move on without addressing it. This incident not only ended their friendship, but also left a lasting mark, with Lisa Raye continuing to remind everyone of Nicole's actions whenever the topic comes up.
To that, Nicole Murphy had relations with your ex-husband. Were you two friends?
Mm-hmm. Birthday parties. I've been to her house. She was at my bachelorette party. But you know what? At that time, my mother told me then. She said, you know, but you got to watch that one there. And I was like, who? I said, the one dancing? She said, yes, that's Eddie Murphy's wife. She said, you got to watch that one.
Current wife at the time or ex at the time?
I want to say, I think she was still married. Mm-hmm. They were still married. And I was like, no, you know. And so, you know, when your mom tell you something about new school, you feel like you old school, you know. And she was right.
How did you find that out?
I had checked the manifest of my plane, because we owned a plane. And so when you check that list, it says all the people that have rolled on the plane. And she didn't ride on it with me. And nor did she receive an invitation from me. So if you had a girlfriend that has her own island, I would think that you would call and say, hey girl, I'm coming, because I was getting everybody to come. So why you would accept an invitation from him and you don't even know him is unbeknownst to me. I don't know how that could happen. Do you? I guess not.
I never owned a private plane or
not that part.
no, I mean, I don't know, but meaning, yes, this is too rich for me. The manifest of the list, like, damn. So you saw her name on the list.
Mm-hmm. And I tried to call her. And, at first she said, no, I haven't been to Turks and Caicos. I have not been. And it was like, well, wait a minute, And then I called again, and then she stopped answering the phone. So at the time she was dating, at this time,
Michael
when
Strahan.
I found out, she was dating Michael Strahan. So I called him. And I said, hey, do you know anything about this? And, we talked or whatever. And I said, well, let me send you a tape that I have of proof, And so I did.
What tape? What was on the tape?
It was a tape of her and Michael where she was dropping Michael off at the private airport in her car. And they opened the gate and they pulled up to the plane, and she gets out and he gets out, and I go, oh, I didn't know y'all knew each other. And I'm gonna leave it right there because that part is my business. The other part is someone else's business, which I've never, would speak on. But for me, that was enough. It was like, wow, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Me too.
Friends don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that I would think an enemy would do, or somebody that I just don't know. But someone that you have to watch your girl. Where I come from, south side of Chicago, that's an ass whooping. That's an ass whooping. Period.
Media.
Lisa.
It may be social media. No. Social media took on a mountain of its own. And like I said, listen, it said I broke up somebody's marriage, which is absolutely false. I never did that. There was a statement released by that ex-husband saying it's false. And
you're talking about when Lisa Raye got involved and said you slept with her husband.
Yes, and it's not true.
She talked real breezy on social media.
I know, it's not true. First of all, her husband released a statement.
That was Turks and Caicos King.
Yes, saying it's not true.
Yeah, I saw that.
Nobody focused on that issue. No one, they just focused on...
But he was in bed with Roxy, so...
It has nothing to do with me.
I'm just saying...